We head one along the table to the next seat, and we have Editor Elodie playing a human ranger called Guillermo, a little boy, a little young man who's lived his entire life at sea and has never been onto land ever. One step to the left, you have Ranboo playing Roken, the artificer dragonborn, whose entire thing is a young man who has a sock puppet who lives on his shoulder, and he controls it with like a switch on his wrist, and it makes the puppet talk. He casts spells from this puppet as well, and he's trying to develop it so that it becomes alive as a homunculus. You go one step next, and you have Ash, the bassist, playing a halfling cleric called Arda. Now, don't get it twisted, chat. Don't get it twisted. Arda is not your average cleric. He's a trickster cleric. He's more about stealing, sneaking. He's a bit more of a dynamic kind of guy. He peruses. He does this little bit of delving his pockets and delving his fingers into people's pockets, you know. And, sometimes he hides things from the party a bit. He's a bit mischievous. But, I think we're all growing to love him. And I think, you will too. I don't know why I'm selling this. Next up, we have Arya, who's playing Hatsune Miku, the gnome paladin. Now, Hatsune Miku is not the kind to devote herself to a god. She's not the kind to devote herself to a god of say, law and order. Hatsune Miku fights for her friends, okay? Hatsune Miku does not care about anyone aside from her friends and her team and looking after them. She's the tank. She's the strong one. And then one more step along, we have Jack Manifold playing Scrimbly. Scrimblow. We have Jack Manifold playing Scrimblow. Now, he's playing a bit more of a weird one. He confuses the people in all the towns we visit. He confuses them all due to the fact that he is not a human, a dwarf, an elf. He's a little frog boy. He's a little orange frog fighter who doesn't speak very good English. Talks like, Scrimblow, Scrimblow. That's how he talks. He says, Scrimblow, Scrimblow. And he's like a Pokemon, really. But he speaks a little bit of common. And he's a fucking force to be reckoned with, old Scrimblow. Don't get in his way. Big thing about him, though, is that he was kicked out of his tribe. He was kicked out of his frog tribe. And since then, he hates everyone. He doesn't want to go near anyone. He's been living on his own. And finally, he ends up being thrust into the party that he didn't want to join. And suddenly, he's starting to realize, maybe he was kicked out of his old tribe. But maybe he's found a new tribe.